I never thought I'd forget my own daughter's name. It was a Sunday morning, sunlight pouring through the kitchen window, the smell of coffee and toast in the air. She was sitting across from me, smiling, telling me about her new job in Boston. And suddenly, mid-sentence, my mind went blank. Her face was familiar, warm, loving, but her name just disappeared. I tried to hide it with a smile, nodding like I was listening, but inside I felt my heart racing. How could I forget something so simple, so personal? Her name, the very first word I whispered when she was born, gone, like smoke. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying the moment in my mind. The fear crawled in slowly. Maybe this is it. Maybe it's starting. Memory loss, dementia, Alzheimer's. Words I'd only heard in commercials and doctors' offices. Now they were echoing in my own head. In the following weeks, little things began slipping away. The grocery list I'd just written, the reason I walked into a room, a neighbor's name I'd known for 20 years. Everyone said it was normal. "You're just getting older," they'd laugh. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. This wasn't just age. It felt like my mind was dimming, one light at a time. One evening, I looked at my reflection and said out loud, "What's happening to me?" My mind used to be sharp. I was a teacher, for God's sakes. But now, I couldn't even trust my own thoughts. And that's when I decided I needed answers.
Maybe you saw a piece of your own story in mine. Maybe your heart has been whispering for help, too, just waiting for you to listen. Remember, it's never too late to start again. Your heart's been beating for you all your life. Maybe now it's time to beat with you. If this story touched you, give your heart one more gift today. Click that subscribe button and stay with us. Because here, every story is a second chance, and every heartbeat is a reminder you're still alive for a reason. Take care of yourself tonight. And remember, your next heartbeat could be the start of something beautiful.
It took me 3 months to finally see a doctor. I kept putting it off, telling myself it would pass, that I just needed more sleep or less stress. But deep down, I knew denial was only making things worse. So one morning, I gathered the courage, called my clinic, and booked an appointment. That's when I met Dr. Lawson, a quiet, gray-haired neurologist with kind eyes and a voice that made you feel safe. He didn't rush me. He listened, really listened, as I explained everything. The blank moments, the forgotten names, the fog that seemed to hang over my thoughts like a cloud. He asked questions no one else had asked before, about my diet, my sleep, my daily routine. Then he leaned back and said softly, "It's not always the brain that forgets. Sometimes it's the body that stops feeding it." I frowned. "Feeding it?" He nodded. "Your brain needs fuel, specific nutrients, just like your heart or muscles. And when it doesn't get them, it slows down." He explained that as we age, our ability to absorb certain vitamins, especially vitamin B12 and omega-3 fatty acids, declines. Without them, the brain literally begins to starve. "It's like trying to run your car without fuel," he said. "Eventually, it just stops moving." I sat there stunned. No one had ever told me this. All these years, I thought memory loss was inevitable, that the brain just wears out like an old machine. But Dr. Lawson made it sound like something I could actually fix. He ordered some tests, blood work, nutrient panels, even a brain scan. When the results came back, his words hit me like a thunderbolt. "You're severely deficient in vitamin B12.
Your brain hasn't been getting enough oxygen-rich blood or nerve protection." He smiled gently. "But the good news is, it's reversible." Reversible. I hadn't heard that word in a long time. For the first time in months, I felt something I'd almost forgotten: hope. He gave me a plan: simple, practical steps, nutrient-rich foods, specific supplements, daily brain exercises, and a few changes to my evening routine. "Feed your brain," he said with a smile, "and it will remember how to feed you back." Those words stuck with me like a promise. That night, I went home, opened the fridge, and stared at the shelves. For the first time, I realized I hadn't been eating for my age or my brain. That was the night everything changed.
The next morning, I woke up with a sense of purpose I hadn't felt in years. I made myself a promise to feed my brain, not just fill my stomach. So I started simple: eggs, salmon, spinach, almonds, and a glass of milk. It wasn't fancy, but it was real food, rich in the nutrients Dr. Lawson had talked about. I also began taking a daily B12 supplement, the kind that dissolves under your tongue. He told me it would help the vitamin get straight into my bloodstream, bypassing the slow digestion that comes with age. Within days, I noticed something, subtle but powerful. The fog that had settled over my mind began to lift. At first, it was just little things: remembering where I'd left my keys, finishing a crossword without giving up, recalling a name mid-conversation. But soon it became more. One morning, I was reading the newspaper when I realized I'd just read through an entire article and understood every word. It felt like my brain was waking up from a long sleep. I added small walks after breakfast, letting the morning air fill my lungs. Movement, Dr. Lawson had said, pumps oxygen to the brain, and I could feel it working. Each step seemed to clear a little more of that invisible fog. At night, I began a new ritual. No phone, no television, no late-night snacks. Just quiet reflection, deep breathing, and gratitude. I'd close my eyes and whisper to myself, "You're healing." It sounds silly now, but it made a difference. After 2 weeks, my energy returned. I could focus again, hold conversations, remember stories from decades ago, things I thought were gone forever. Even my daughter noticed. She called one night and said, "Dad, you sound like yourself again." And this time, I said her name without hesitation: Emma. Her name felt like sunlight in my mouth. It wasn't magic, it was science, consistency, and patience. Every cell in my brain had been starving for years, and now I was feeding them again. I realized something important. Memory loss isn't always a sign of aging. Sometimes it's a cry for nourishment. Each morning became a new chance to rebuild. One meal, one walk, one deep breath at a time. And with every passing day, I felt my brain thanking me, quietly, steadily, faithfully.
3 months later, I found myself standing in front of my mirror, holding a photograph of me and my late wife, Linda. For the first time in years, I could remember the exact moment it was taken. The smell of the rain, her laughter, the way she brushed her hair from her face, it all came flooding back like sunlight breaking through clouds. That's when I realized something I wish every person over 60 could understand. We don't lose our memories because we're old. We lose them because we stop feeding the very thing that holds them, our brain. For years, I believed forgetfulness was just a part of aging, like wrinkles or gray hair. But it's not. It's the body's way of saying, I need you to care again, to move, to eat right, to rest, to love your mind the way it once loved you. Now, each morning, I start my day with gratitude, not for what I've gained, but for what I've regained. The simple ability to think clearly, to remember, to live with intention. It's like getting a second chance at life, one thought at a time. And if you're listening to this, sitting somewhere wondering why your memory feels dimmer than it used to, please don't give up. It's not over. You can still bring it back. Your brain is waiting, patiently, for you to start caring again. Maybe you start by walking each day, or adding one more vegetable to your plate, or just sleeping a little better tonight. Whatever it is, do it for yourself. Do it for the stories you still want to tell. Because memory isn't just about remembering the past, it's about staying present for the moments that are still ahead. As I sit on my porch now, watching the sunset over the same trees I once forgot the names of, I smile. I thought memory loss was normal at 65 until I changed one thing and life started remembering me back. If this story touched you, take a deep breath and promise yourself one small change tonight. And if you're over 60, take this as your sign. Your story isn't finished yet. Subscribe, stay with us, and let's rebuild your brightest years together. One heartbeat, one memory, one moment at a time.
If this story touched your heart, don't let it end here. There's hope, healing, and strength waiting, no matter your age. Subscribe now and join thousands of seniors rediscovering the power of a healthy mind and body, one story at a time. Because growing older doesn't mean slowing down. It means getting wiser, stronger, and more alive than ever. Thank you for watching. And remember, your best years are still ahead of you.